All right, guys, we are back on Metalopolis Game 2 with Cluck up 1-0 over Axslav. Now, Metalopolis is a new map here at the MLG Showcase Series, so iNcontroL, why don't you give the viewers a little bit of the, I guess, information and possibly what you might see in this matchup on Metalopolis?
You know, a lot of players widely accept this as probably the most balanced, certainly Blizzard, but possibly just map in general in StarCraft 2. There's not a whole lot of gimmick here, not a whole lot of, destructible rocks, sneak attack type stuff. It's very straightforward. Pretty good distance between all the bases, which just encourages macro play, but doesn't exclude aggressive harass type play. So it's a fun map that really players get to play themselves as opposed to play to the map necessarily. So I'm looking for a really good rematch here because, in game one, a couple things went wrong for Axslav, and CauthonLuck just played very strong and steady. So I'd like to see how Axslav reacts to that.
We do have CauthonLuck spawning on the left side of the map as the pink Terran, and on the far right side of the map, the blue Protoss Axslav. Also, one thing to note is these players are probably, or I guess, the farthest apart on the map that they could possibly spawn. So we might be in for a little bit of a longer game here. I guess they spawned completely opposite on Lost Temple 2, and that wasn't too long of a game, so we'll have to see exactly how these players played out. We do have a pylon going down near the Nexus as well, so it looks like Axslav is going to be going for the same type of building placement, and we're still waiting to see, of course, what CauthonLuck will be doing, as he only has a supply depot going down right now.
Yeah, I mean, we had the same kind of positions in the last game, exactly like you pointed out. But in this matchup in particular, and there's variations, of course, in other matchups, losing that initial Stalker is so detrimental. I mean, it's meant to negate any kind of scouting or information that CauthonLuck can have. But when that Stalker wandered into the danger zone, so to speak, and got brought down for free, it not only denied Axslav that kind of advantage, but it actually gave the advantage to CauthonLuck. So he did a really good job pushing up on that and forcing the probe pull. And in StarCraft 2, there's not as much like macro harass play that's available early on in the game. You know, Dark Templars take forever to get to. Storm is a mid to late game type of thing. So when you have to pull your probes off the mineral line, you're actually taking a big sacrifice in order to do that.
Right. One thing I want to talk a little bit about is we're still kind of waiting to see what's going to be going on between these two players in this matchup is if you look at the current APM tab right now, you have CauthonLuck or Cluck sitting at about 150 average with about 100 current right now. Earlier it was spiking to about 300. And if you go to Axslav, he's sitting at 33 average with about 80 right now. So you talked a little bit about how he's not really one of the flashy players or one of the APM spammers. Do you think that in StarCraft 2 it's a big discussion topic right now on a lot of forums? How important is APM in StarCraft 2?
Well, I mean, how fast you do anything is, of course, relative and is of course, important. And this discussion is age-old. There have been players like the highly, oh no, I'm about to say it, Savior. Oh my god. Well, he still won stuff, before he became a scoundrel. And he did it with 200 APM, which is pretty fast, but by Korean standards, it's big slow. I mean, there's players like Testy or Mondragon. Some of these guys who have won and dominated in the foreign scene with relatively slow, APM. So it's not the end-all, be-all. Of course, if I can do 400 actions in a minute, people are going to talk about that, and for good reason. It obviously helps you, but it is certainly not the end, like I just said, the end-all, be-all. It's not the big determinant factor. Axslav is a little bit slower. He comes from Warcraft 3. A lot of his actions are dedicated towards unit control as opposed to macro management or a lot more of the big picture things. He likes the little stuff. He likes to be very effective with his units, and he's done well with that.
Looks like Cluck is going to be going for the same build as last game, as he does have a command center going down at the natural expansion. And Axslav did send out that early Stalker to go ahead and take this Xel'Naga tower closest to him, taking out an SCV. And now we have a little bit of an aggressive play from Cluck, just like last game, with these two Marauders and one Marine. Looks like he is going to take down that probe quite easily. Needs to be able to pull this other Stalker back right now. Actually, no, Cluck is going to go straight for that Stalker, cutting him off. He's going straight towards him. Oh no, Axslav, deja vu happening all over again. He did get his natural expansion down a little bit earlier than last game. He does have those 4 probes and a sentry out, so he's in a little bit better shape as to last game, as it was a little bit different. And I like this little Reaper support that CauthonLuck likes to do, getting it across the map just in time for his actual initial attack.
Yeah, Axslav's a lot more prepared for this time. His Nexus is going to take some damage. Just wait for that Zealot to get out. But with these probes, the Stalker, the Observer, or the Sentry, excuse me, and the Zealot, it's more than enough to clean this up at relatively low cost. So he did give away another Stalker, but that was, again, well, before I even get there, good surround with the probes. One Marauder goes down. This Marine's going to fall as well. Good surround again. This Marauder chugging along, and the Reaper is in red health as well. So I expect CauthonLuck to pull those back. Very nicely handled by Axslav again. I mean, you don't want to be pulling these probes. In fact, he probably should have sent them to the expansion. They're just heading right back to the main. That being said, all he really suffered was just a yellow Nexus from this point forward. So, you know, nothing, really.
Yeah, it looks like he is going to be getting up another gateway now, putting him up to 3, as well as that robotics facility. I guess he can go ahead and support that, as he does have his natural expansion up now and also transferring over those probes. So Axslav in a little bit better shape than he was last game around this time. Going back over into CauthonLuck's base, he does have those 3 racks down now with no attachments on them, so he's going to be spawning a ton of Marines pretty much exactly like we saw last game on Lost Temple.
This seems to be CauthonLuck's kind of cookie-cutter, absorbent build for this matchup. You know, there's not... it's very strong and steady. Like, you go Void Race, I got the Marines for that. You go any kind of 3-4 gate push, I've got the production for that. You know, there's not a lot of holes in this, but it's at the same time not so poignant that he's obviously making a prediction as to what the Protoss player is doing. It's very much so just I'm going to fill you out. You know, once I get a basis for this, maybe I'll have some alterations or change my play. That said, I mean, Axslav is in a better position, like you said. The faster Nexus is going to boost his economy. Hopefully he matches the production with that. Last time he was only on 3 warp gates and 1 robo, and that was a big part of the reason why he wasn't able to go toe-for-toe. Reaper being annoying at the mineral line, and he's going to pay with his life in a second.
Oh,
no?
Is he going to get the jump?
What are we doing? Axslav wants blood. No, he doesn't. He's turning around. Why?
That Reaper went in, killed 1 probe, and but we do have a Stalker now going to cut him off. Is he going to get that Reaper? He does. A lone Stalker kind of just, I guess, lost out in the battlefield, but it did prove fortuitous, I guess, for Axslav. Looks like both players are sitting around the same supply, and it's a pretty even match right now. And Cluck looks like he is going to be going forward a little bit. Does he have that starport down last game? No, it looks like he does not have that starport down getting the medevacs. He does have another expansion going up, however, in the far left side, or I guess the north part of the map as well as the west part of that, northwest, combining those two together. We do have that command center about 40% right now, so he's going to be pulling a little bit ahead, and Cluck is going to be actually being a little bit aggressive here right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a really good timing. He's got a lot of stuff out on the field. He's already taken another command center, but if you look over at Axslav's units, not necessarily a really good mix for this. I mean, again, he's got 2 Immortals out and a 3rd on the way for a relatively low number of Marauders. So while Immortals are good, the amount of cost going into them cuts into the other units. So here they go, stimming into the battle. No force fields up. There's the Guardian Shield. Now a couple force fields, not really doing a whole lot. Just kind of delaying the inevitable. The Marines just move right through that. That's fine. It's like a paintball course, it looks like. And the Marines move back a little bit, regroup. All these stims are putting them in the red and yellow, though. These units are weak. A couple reinforcements. Now the Immortals are enjoying what they do best, and that is eating Marauders. Holds off the attack. Very interesting. The stims really annihilated the health of those Marines, and I don't think they have the health upgrade either. Actually, they do.
Yeah, they do definitely have those shields next to them. And looks like Axslav pulled ahead a little bit right there. He's about 10 supply ahead right now of Cluck. He does throw down another warp gate as well as continuing to spawn those Immortals. And he is a little bit high right now on the minerals and gas, sitting about 600. But he does warp in another round of units, and now he's going to be dropping down that Twilight Cancel and actually being a little bit aggressive here, trying to catch a little bit of units with the Observer scouting ahead. And now we see 3 more racks coming down for Cluck as he does have that Noose expansion up in the northwest part of the map.
Yeah, I mean, if this game proceeds in this direction, I mean, we're seeing CauthonLuck doing an excellent job of getting those expansions up and then matching the production with it. We see 3 new barracks going down, factory, there's the reactor on the starports. We're going to see just a heavy Marine Marauder army with a lot of medevac support. So that's a very deadly combo if you're not out of the gates with your tech as a Protoss player. We need to see either Colossus or a lot of Templar to react to this. You're not going to be able to do it with Speedlots, Stalkers, and Immortals. They just won't hack it. So You know, we do see Axslav throwing down that third expansion. Is going to be a little bit behind the Terran player. Again, that's not the end of the world. But we do need to see which tech pattern he's going to be going, and there it is, the Templar Archive. So it's all going to be about that and the timing with that.
We do have a couple of medevacs out now for Cluck. Actually, looks like he might be doing a drop right here, or he might just be separating those forces a little bit. Thought he was going to possibly do a drop, but looks like he is not. And both players are just kind of macroing up right now, definitely making sure that their economy is strong. And really, I mean, it's anyone's ball game right now. We do have Charge being upgraded for Axslav, as well as the level 1 weapon upgrades. And we have a lone Viking possibly just to use as a scouting tool. Also, a Ghost Academy is dropping down for Cluck, so you are going to be seeing Ghosts, possibly even seeing a nuke later in this game.
Yeah, I'm almost I mean, there certainly could be a nuke, but I'm almost positive the purpose of that is going to be to reduce the shields and make Templar hopefully null and void with their storming ability by reducing their energy with EMP. So it's going to be kind of a game of cat and mouse. If he can keep the Templar back or get the storms off before those EMPs disrupt their ability to do that, then they're going to be devastatingly powerful. Marines are very weak against Storm, and Marauders, suffering 80 damage, are a little bit limpy afterwards as well. So we do see the 4th Nexus going down for Axslav at the bottom of the screen. Very good timing. What I would like to see in conjunction with this is he's still on 4 Warp Gates. That is not enough production to match this. I mean, if we look at CauthonLuck, he's got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I want to say he's adding more. Well, he's got 8 barracks, and he's got 1 reactor add-on on his starport. So he's going to be producing a lot of stuff. But before I even talk more about that, there's that drop at the top of the screen you were talking about.
Yeah, we do see that drop coming down. Looks like it is going to be getting there with no units really left behind to defend. He does have that Psy Storm, not Sty Storm. That is about 80% done. And I guess we're... Oh, did he actually see the drop there? Looks like he's pulling back all of his forces. We did have 2 scans come down for Cluck, but enough talk about that. Here comes those 2
he didn't see it. It's just Lady Luck. He's pulling right on in there. Going for that Nexus. Probably going to target it, but these the Protoss army was right there. Like to see some feedbacks. Wow. There it is. Boom. 1 health. Is it going to get out of here? Oh, and it does.
It does get out with 1 HP. That was some really lucky... I mean, I can't really say anything else than lucky for him pulling back his forces there. I'm wondering how he saw that. Maybe he scouted it with the Observer, loading up those units there right at the outside of his natural expansion. And now Cluck just has a ton, or a huge force right now. Of course, he's not going to be building that nuke. He does have a lot of Ghosts, as well as getting Terran infantry upgrades. Level 2. And, I mean, both players are just continuing to do what they've done all game, continuing to take bases and continuing just to macro up.
Protoss players at home, and if you're in this position, you've got this kind of money, you're sitting around maxed, always, always, always upgrade the Kadarin Amulet. You'll find it at the Templar Archives. It's a bargain. 150 minerals, 150 gas, but it makes you a pain in the butt, man. Every time they attack a base, you can warp in 3 or 4 Templar, and boom, 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 there's Storms ready to go. So if that upgrade doesn't get done pretty quick here, I'm going to be very, very sad. But before we even get to that, here comes that devastating march. The Terran army moving down to the bottom of the screen. Protoss army not so lucky this time. He sent his whole army to take on 2 Marines at the base. He's going to lose this expansion for free. Not the end of the world. I mean, they'll be on 3-3 bases, but I would have liked to have seen a little less overkill on those 2 Marines that are attacking a pylon in his main. So that Nexus gets sniped, and we're going to see what CauthonLuck does with this. He's got 6 Ghosts in the back in tow. If they can EMP the Templar, it's going to be lights out for that Protoss army. Conversely, if they don't EMP the Protoss army, it's lights out for the Terran army. Kind of an interesting little situation.
And here we go. Looks like we're about to have the grand fight here. We have those Ghosts there in the front. Looks like they do get, wow, some impressive EMPs up. But look at those Psy Storms doing so much damage to Cluck's forces. And he is just losing forces rapidly. Wow, another Storm coming in. And holy crap, looks like Axslav won that fight very, very easily. Those EMPs did a lot of damage, but they didn't actually get those Templars in the back. And now we see that statue going down. Axslav is pissed, man. He's so happy that he just won that fight. Or not, he's not pissed. He's so happy he just won that fight that he's taken down everything. And Cluck is going to have to retreat. But really, I mean, he has a ton of racks right now. So he's going to be able to continue to keep on building that force. He's going to be back up to 200 here relatively soon. And here comes another little dropper, possibly just a scouting with that medevac with 1 HP in the main base of Axslav.
Look at that. It goes right to the 4 Stargates. This 1 health medevac. I hate you. I hate you so much. That is CauthonLuck, you need to go buy a lottery ticket today because there's been I mean, it's been a really nice, and I don't want to take away from him necessarily. He's playing really well, but just the luck of a 1 health medevac getting over there. Well, it looks like they're going to go tit for tat in expansions. Here comes that Protoss army, fresh off the victory and the celebration on the Arcturus Minx statue, is moving up to cancel out that expansion. Terran army engages. Nope, no Templar in the area. EMPs go off. That's not looking too good for the Protoss army. You're going to want to back off and get those Stormers in there, man.
Yeah, really, that was some great EMP work from Cluck. He's going to be able to take down a lot of Axslav forces there with those slowing Marauders. As they continue to do stim pack, he does turn around and try to take out as many forces as possible. And here come 6 or 7 High Templars. Looks like he is going to be able to lose, or he's going to lose that main fight. But here come the Storms, and look at the Storms. We're going to have to see some impressive stims. And wow, those Templar took out almost the entire force of CauthonLuck, and he's going to be warping them in to Archons, buying himself a little bit more time.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty poor attack by Axslav. You need to have those Templar with you at all times. This is not an army, this being the Terran army, that should be engaged without them. I mean, they're just so devastatingly powerful, and they force CauthonLuck to do so many things. He's got an EMP, he's got a stim, he's got to move out of the storm. But if you don't have that, you saw what happens to the Zealots, Stalkers, Sentries, and Archons. They're nothing. They just kind of melt. So, want to see those Templar engaged. Quick thing to note, though, we do have a couple of Colossus being produced, and those Stargates are being inactive. There's a fleet beacon going down with no gas to support this. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see. Is he waiting for that upgrade? And there's the Void Rays. So there are going to be speed upgraded Void Rays. I love you, Axslav. That's one of my favorite follow-ups at the end of a game.
Looks like Axslav is going to continue to take his entire side of the map, as Cluck is not too far behind. Looks like he is going to be getting that newest expansion down in the northern part of the map, and Cluck opting to see that. Wow, I don't think that Nexus was actually canceled, but really when you're sitting at about 1,700 minerals, what is 400? I mean, Cluck is just continuing to mass up Marauder Marines, not really opting for too much of a tech change, and now you see Colossus, a little bit of an evolution from Axslav, going into this Colossus as well as getting those Void Rays, as I think they are actually, yes, they are spawned. He's going to be going and taking out some expansions with Cluck. How many will he get? We'll just have to wait and see.
Colossus in conjunction with Templar, devastatingly powerful, especially when there's no Vikings on the field.
I'm going to have to interrupt you really quickly because we do have a Ghost now in the main base of, wow, as I forget the name because I'm so excited, we might actually see a nuke right now. Wow, he's actually attacking those probes. That was a bad move
6 o'clock.
by Cluck. Look for the observer. We'll have to see if he's... Wow, I'm wondering why he's continuing to attack there. He does not have a nuke there. I guess he's just trying to scout and harass. I completely forgot that the nuke was not built right now. I got a little bit too excited.
Dude, there was a nuke at 6 o'clock. Did you see it?
I did not actually see that.
Oh, JT.
I hope the camera... Oh, wow. Now I saw it. I was so worried about that other ghost. I guess he just sent ghosts everywhere. That's what nukes do to shoutcasters right there.
Probes were pulled. No harm done. Shields reduced to 285 on the Nexus. So, not a big deal necessarily. Can's going to warp in. Oh, CauthonLuck, good micro. Backs that ghost off for a later nuke. He is going to run out of energy, though. Army's moving down to the 6 o'clock position, though. Looks like he's going to follow it up with his main infantry. Very fortuitous. Here comes the Protoss army. A lot of speed lots, a couple of Colossus, only 1 Templar in tow, but if that Templar gets that Storm off, that's all you need. CauthonLuck is waiting, getting into position. A lot of ghosts in this army. Moving up. Looks like he's trying to get that Protoss player to engage. It doesn't look like Axslav's going to bite. Very smart of him. He's actually going to back off and just sort of, well, as I say that, I eat those words yet again. This is a lot of Terran army, man. Not a lot of Templar.
Oh, wow. He almost lost all of his ghosts right there. 2 of those Colossi. And here comes the stem and the EMPs. And wow, just some great EMPs right there. He's storming his own Zealots right there. Some little bad storms and definitely a loss for Axslav there in that fight. Is he going to be able to hold it off? We're going to have to see just how he reacts to that fight.
Yeah, you're going to want to cancel all this stuff warping in. You need that money, man. Now it's just kind of a matter of production. He did get that Kadarin amulet upgrade, so he should be putting the hurt on that army with Templar coming in at good places. He needs to not throw away these units. We have a... Oh, please don't do that to the Colossus. No. I mean, Colossus are good, but taking on an entire maxed out Terran army, despite what the forums might tell you, they're not that good. So we're going to need to see some good storms here. The Terran army's just chilling by that cliff. God, I want some storms on that.
We do have
Nope.
4 carriers out now on the map for Axslav. He needs to be able to get those interceptors built as they are just now starting. He's going to lose his expansions, though, to the Terran forces of Cluck, while he warps in a ton of zealots there, as well as bringing a lot of... And here comes the storms right now. This is going to be interesting to see. There are the storms. Wow, some great storms. But an EMP on top of them. Are there enough zealots to finish it off? And there are.
Yeah.
Axslav is going to be able to take out those units that were just there, but now some reinforcements for CauthonLuck are there. It looks like another storm is going to go on those Marauders, and then he storms nothing but his own zealots. So now I'm not really sure who's actually going to be winning these fights. Those Vikings need to land. There they go. And Axslav looks like he is going to be able to lose that. And now we have carriers. Wow, action all over the map. Carriers are going to be taking out this expansion up there. That planetary fortress cannot attack air, so that is going to go down relatively easily, and now Cluck is going to be continuing to mass up, but it looks like Axslav did defend his attack relatively easily in the south.
He's running off of 3 bases now. He's just right up his second. He does not have that high yield. However, CauthonLuck is down to 1 base. Basically, this high yield is yet to be saturated, and there's no answer for these carriers on the field. I mean, we do have, what is this, like 6 Vikings out? However, carriers are much better against those than Void Rays are, especially in lower numbers. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see this conflict. Here come the Vikings. They're going to engage. Carriers pull back. Now here we have the fight. 1, 2, 3. These Vikings are going to go down relatively quick. They did reduce the numbers of the carriers down to 3, but that's not a whole lot. CauthonLuck is drying up. He did too good of a job spending his money, if you can believe that quotation. Before I even get any further with that, big battle going down at 6 o'clock. CauthonLuck is losing units. He doesn't have enough money to sustain this. There's the good game. Holy crap, Axslav wins the game.
That was a ridiculous game. A nuke, carriers, really what more can you ask for in the PvT matchup? And now we are all tied up with series 1-1 going into Desert Oasis.